It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. It's Expresso right here on SABC3. It is Tuesday. That means we need to get involved in our health chats. We've invited our resident medical expert, Dr. Darren Green, and today we're keeping it all in the theme of Women's Month, and something that's really important and that has to be taken care of is our hair, our skin, and our nails. Dr. Darren Green.
Good morning.
Welcome to the hot seat.
Morning.
Thank you.
Of course, our lines are also open if you've got a comment or a question regarding your hair, your nails, or your skin. That number's 021-430-9881. Dr. Darren Green, can we start off with hair? I feel like they are, we always name a day after our hair, like I'm having a bad hair day, or it's a good hair day, and that often affects your mood for the rest of the day. But let's talk about hair loss. What are some of the causes for people to experience hair loss?
100%. I think right at the top of the list is stress. So a normal person that's unstressed and healthy loses about 80 hair strands a day, if not more. But when you're under stress, obviously, you could lose a lot more. Along with that, obviously, the influence of things like hormones. And in women, obviously, estrogen. So the hair cycle of a hair becoming a hair cell and then growing is dependent on quite a few nutritional factors and hormonal factors. So estrogen fluctuations and those levels play a role. And so, too, is the production of testosterone. Women also have testosterone, by the way. And that, obviously, the increase of testosterone as you get older also leads to hair loss.
Can a diet or, a lack of certain nutrients also aggravate the hair loss process?
Yeah, B12 deficiency, zinc, selenium, those are really, really big ones.
Wow.
Vitamin D, and of course calcium as well can affect the quality of your hair. But also a big one that's overlooked often by a lot of us is the thyroid gland. So often the biggest medical cause of losing hair is actually your thyroid hormone levels that are not in check or where there's a lack of balance.
Okay. And what are some of the things we can implement or change in our lifestyles to now ensure that we have thick, glossy hair? We just want to make sure our hair is healthy.
Yeah, I think eat correctly. So you need the nutritional components. You need enough of those vitamins that I've mentioned. B12 specifically, D3, calcium, selenium, zinc is very important when it comes to the hair, skin and nails. So enough of that in your diet. And then, of course, the care for your hair. What are you using to actually clean your hair? Are you killing it with blow drying it like crazy, not replacing the nutrients, the serum? I mean, guys in your industry have a really tough time because the hair takes a lot of chemicals.
We put heat to our hair every morning.
Every day.
Every morning.
So you need to replenish some of the good things into the hair follicles, the treatments and so forth intermittently, if you're giving your hair such hard wear and tear. And then obviously along with that, the lifestyle decisions of enough sleep, medically making sure that you've checked out that you don't have things like thyroid disease.
Well, we are doing our medical chat with Dr. Darren Green this morning, and when we return, I want to ask him about something that I'm not sure all women know about. There's a term called hirsutism.
Ah, well done.
Oh, hirsutism. I have no idea what it is. It's a thing. We're going to find out more after this, and if you do have a question or comment, 021-430-9881 is the number to dial. Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. We're here with Dr. Darren Green. We're chatting about hair, skin, nails, and how to make sure that we maintain optimum health when it comes to that. Before we chat about that common condition known as hirsutism, we've got Wendy on the line. Wendy, good morning. How are you? And what is your question or comment for Dr. Darren?
Hi, good morning. I'm very well, thank you. And I would love to know what causes ridges on one's nails. Is it a lack of, if it's a lack of something?
Yeah.
Ah, great. So she's
Ridges
on the nails.
on one's nails.
Yeah, so you often get white ridges on the nails or pitting. Often nutritional factors like zinc, calcium or selenium, those three commonly, and B12 deficiency from a nutritional perspective. You also get pitting of the nails with small little dry holes, or little indentations. Caused by an autoimmune condition called psoriasis, which gives you skin patches. And then we use the nails as a great map to tell us what's going on in other parts of the body, like the liver and iron levels, etc., etc. So have a look at that, definitely.
Okay, because I often get like a little white dot on my nail, then I know, I need to increase my calcium.
100%, 100%. And a lot of people also have allergies locally to some of the products or chemicals they use on the nails. Have a look at that too, if there's an association in time and place with that and the reaction that you're getting on the nail.
Okay. Well, let's talk about that condition known as hirsutism.
Yes.
Now, I think many people might not know what the term is, but you might know what it is when you hear it.
Yes, so that is the presence of those unsightly dark hairs that occur in women on unsightly places like, for example, on the moustache area.
The moustache.
The moustache, well, it might become fashionable, who knows? But, you know, understanding that it's not normal for women to have lots of hair on that specific part of the face.
Yeah.
And hirsutism is as a result of increased androgen hormones, which are the sex hormones, but often the male-associated sex hormones. And you get primary testosterone deficiencies or rather hypersecretion of those that can happen. But also it can happen secondary to other medical conditions like polycystic ovaries.
Okay.
Or, you know, secondary to medication. I know some hypertensive treatments like minoxidil is typically associated with it as well.
Well, Dr. Darren Green, we have another caller on the line. Kat, good morning from KwaZulu-Natal. What's your comment or question for Dr. Darren Green?
I've got a lot of warts, some around my eyes and a lot on my chest, but they won't do anything about the ones around my eyes because they say if they're cauterized, that could affect my eyesight. Is there any method or medication? At the moment, I'm using colloidal silver spraying on.
Yeah.
It does seem to keep them down, but it's not tearing them altogether.
Okay, good. So she mentioned some skin tags or warts. You get butcher's warts on the hands or the feet that are quite common. Some kids have them on the knees as well.
Yes.
And they can be quite, you know, they can obstruct your play.
Yeah, they can.
And in this case, you'd look at obviously treating. She is using chemical substances, but it's not working.
Yeah.
The roots is difficult because it's often associated with HPV, human papillomavirus. Certain subtypes, and the problem is it grows in the nerve tissue.
Okay.
So you often remove it, but there's always a chance of recurrence
yes,
unless you
of it
get
coming
all
back.
the roots out.
Okay.
And unfortunately, you know, if you are genetically predisposed to having them, you're going to have to monitor continuously.
Okay. Well, thank you to all of our callers coming through. Our lines are still open. We will be back with Dr. Darren Green as we continue our health chat around nails, skin and hair. So if you've got a comment or a question, feel free to call us. That number is 021 430 9881.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. It's Expresso right here on SABC3. Dr. Darren Green is in the house, our medical expert this morning, and we're talking about the health of your nails, your skin, and your hair. Now, Dr. Darren, is it correct that one should be using an SPF every single day, even if you are not in the sun?
Every day.
Okay.
If you don't want to age prematurely, it's very, very useful. Remember, the exposure to UV is through many different things, obviously, and you get light exposure even by being under these lights every day that stimulate some of the skin cells and cause changes in the structure and the cycling of skin cells. But certainly, we all know about vitamin D and the skin and needing sun exposure. You need about 20 to 30 minutes of midday sun. That's between 12 and 1 or 11:30 and 12:30 every day to synthesize enough.
Yeah.
But excessive of that obviously could lead to premature aging of the skin and dehydration. The skin protection factor is there as a guideline, and obviously using anything from 30 up is what we recommend. Scar tissue on kids and adults that have had a little graze or a burn or even a little cut on the hands or face. Remember, the sun protection factor is what prevents you developing a really, really ugly dark scar.
Okay. Well, Dr. Darren Green, pigmentation. I know a lot of people, men and women, suffer from pigmentation. What can you do? What does that tell you about your body?
Yeah, so what happens is you've got skin cells that are called melanocytes, and they produce a color pigment called, melanin. And melanin is what gives the skin its color and the different shades, the 50 shades of the skin. So you need to understand that obviously certain conditions like a breakout, like acne, etc., like sun exposure, cause stimulation of those melanocytes to actually then release and deposit the melanin in the surface, in the lower levels of the skin.
Okay.
And that then causes spotting and so forth. So the treatment is then aimed at quite a few different actions in the pathway of decreasing the release, but also brightening up dark spots. Okay. Then you'll hear about all the cosmetic ranges that contain things like high vitamin C, salicylic acid, kojic acid, and niacinamide. Those are like the top things in cosmetic products.
Okay.
We've actually got a caller on the line right now. Melisha, good morning. What is your question or comment for Dr. Darren?
Morning, Zoe.
Morning. Good morning.
My question is, I would like to ask Dr. Darren Green, I am 14 years old and I have gray hair. So I want to find out what is the cause of gray hair and especially dandruff.
Okay.
14.
Yes.
Okay, she's
Okay.
14 years old.
Yeah, so the greatest contributor of grey hair is genetic factors.
Okay.
So if your parents or your dad or your mom had grey hair when they were young, the chances are pretty good that you're also going to have premature greying. And that's got to do with the cycle of the pigment that we have in the hair cell itself.
Yeah.
And there's a genetic, obviously, coding that leads to premature loss in some of those pigments. She also mentions dandruff. That's a topic that no one wants to talk about, but they all feel so shy about. And the proper term for dandruff is seborrheic dermatitis.
Okay.
If you want to Google that. So understanding, obviously, the flakiness of the skin, a lack of moisture, and the ability of the skin to lock in and seal the cells, and also get rid of the excessive cells. That cycle is interrupted.
Okay.
Often it leads then to secondary fungal infections of the skin as well. And that's why the treatments are so based in rich oils to nourish the scalp, and also to look at the different organisms involved in causing flaking of the skin.
Okay.